coffee countdown has ended. That means we
Yeah.
are live with Fortnite. I'm Will Kinsler. You can call me Ragzilla. I do community things on Fortnite. Brought some of my friends with me from the Fortnite team: Zach Phelps, Darren Sugg, and Pete Ellis. This is our first Fortnite stream of the year. How you guys feel? Pretty good?
Awesome.
Good.
All right, we're
Awesome.
We're ready to roll. So,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about today. We're going to be showing off some new things from our online test 6.5 build. But before we do that, we're going to talk real quick about, we had a cool opportunity last week, was that we actually had a bunch of Fortnite players in the building. So some of our biggest players, people who put the most time, effort, given the greatest feedback in the game, visited us. I noticed some of them are actually in the chat. MSGT Fox, Bigness, and Tenma, they're actually all in the chat right now. So hey guys.
What's up?
Hey guys.
That was really cool for us, right? I mean, being able to meet those guys in person, and what did you guys think on meeting some members of the community?
Yeah, no, it was super fun. Like I enjoy meeting, sort of people that I've been playing online with, probably 40 to 50, even 100 hours with some of these guys. And so getting to meet them in person and sort of being able to talk about the game it's super fun.
Yeah, I was excited by the fact that we could bring them over to one of Carrie's staple restaurants and just wine and dine and like really show off what Carrie's all about.
Yeah, those fried pickles are something special. Let me tell you.
Yeah, Zach insisted. He's like, you have to eat the fried pickle.
And everybody tried one, and they're like, Zach, we don't like them. And then we
did that for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I already knew I didn't like them. I still ate one just to be sure.
Yep.
So thank you very much, guys. I know you're in the chat, and we really appreciate all of the hard work and time you guys have spent on the game, giving us incredible feedback. So that was super awesome. So last week we released online test 6.5, a bunch of awesome new stuff. And so we're going to play that today. So that includes Deliver the Goods, new mission type.
That's right, new mission.
Some cool balance changes. And something that's been talked about a lot, from our players is actually the new female Constructor, which is available to play now on OT 6.5, and that Jack's going to be using today. So, Pete, could you tell us a little bit about the new Constructor, female Constructor?
Sure. Just sort of like everything about her. Or,
what can you tell me?
how in detail do we want to go? Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I guess going back a ways on the project, there was a point in time when we sort of only had one body type for our characters, and they were all this sort of like really stylized skinny guy. And the animation team at one point pitched the idea of building a system where we could develop multiple body types, so we could go expand our representation of humanity into small, medium, and large body types. So our first foray into that was, why don't we take the commando and make him the sort of average guy? He's sort of your stereotypical hero character, right? And then our smaller characters, our explorers and our ninja, would fit pretty well on the small body type, and the Constructor was a natural fit for the large body type. So when it came time to make a decision about, like, are we going to do sort of one-off heroes for each class, or are we going to do a male and a female piece of art for each class, we talked about that for a long time and eventually decided the coolest thing we could possibly do for the gamers would be to do a male and a female for each class. So that sort of landed us as the art team a sort of interesting challenge of how do we maintain the integrity of the PvP gameplay with silhouettes and how much size a person takes up on screen with regards to the female Constructor being sort of automatically attached to being a large body type like the male Constructor. So we weren't quite sure how to address it initially in terms of what's the tone of the character. Is it going to be like, oh, she's big, so let's make it funny, or she's big and we aren't sure where to stylize. Do we make the upper body big? Do we make the lower body big? We sort of experimented. We did a lot of rounds of concept art. We had a bunch of people on the team work on this, and eventually it sort of fell on the shoulders of our super talented modeler, Vitaly Nemushin, who came on the team, and he had a sort of clear picture in his mind what this girl should look like and how she would fit in with the full range of body types in the game. And over the last couple of weeks, couple months, we put her together. We sort of looked at the male constructor as a sort of guideline for what's the sort of look and feel she should have in terms of fitting with him, but then how does she also have her own identity? And we landed on the idea that she should be someone who is a total badass, and she's sort of glamorous, and she knows she's attractive, and she's out there sort of flaunting her stuff. And we just rolled with that idea, and this is where we landed. So we're all really proud of it. I think she's got some really cool little details. The little lipstick thing next to the shotgun shells. She's got some of the sort of signature Constructor yellow armor on the leg, and along with the backpack. We might be doing some future work, not sure yet, on some more gear and accessories for her. But for now, we're really happy with where she's at.
Cool. Yeah, I think she looks amazing. We definitely have had some great feedback from people so far, and there's people saying, "Hey, let me in the game. I want to play as her." With that in mind, we are giving away some codes in the chat. If you're not playing Fortnite already and you want to play, make sure you let us know in the chat so we can get you a code, and we'll get as many of you in today as we possibly can. So, 6.5 update. Some other big things in there, big additions. New mission, deliver the goods. What can you tell me about it, Darren?
So deliver the goods. One of the things that we've been trying to always extend is the toolkit of the players, how they can utilize building in interesting ways. So of course everyone's like, we want to build some kind of track system. And of course we have to do it in a Fortnite way, which is to say, like, you lay tracks and then you decide you're going to have a hover tub that moves across the tracks, and players have to defend that from point A to point B. So we sort of take it a little bit into the crazy world, but it allows players to sort of customize their route through this level. They have to defend it. They choose how they want to defend it. Do they want to defend it in the air? Do they want to make tunnels? It just generally is an extension of the sort of action verbs that they can do in the Fortnite universe, and if we refine this and make this cool, we'll keep blowing up the concepts of this to give players even more tools to play with. So yeah, I'm excited actually.
Sweet. So one of the other big changes is some changes to the elemental enemies. Reducing damage resistance on some of them, restrictions to elements, one element per encounter. What sort of brought on some of those changes?
Well, as we've been sort of developing the elemental enemies, we'd been playing around with, what are they weak to, what are they strong against, and generally getting the math right of how challenging they should be is an iterative process. So the first cut of that in the 6.0 release was just like, hey, we're gonna throw these guys in there, and they're gonna be in the top end, they're gonna be pretty tough. But as we iterated through, we're like, wow, these are way more difficult than we were expecting. And then on top of it, it also made it a little less optimal because of some other high-level guns that have normal damage aren't as effective against them, which really wasn't the design intent. It just happened to be the way it was playing out in 6.0. So the 6.5 release is just a way of us tuning that. And also their appearance in encounters is lessened a bit. Just to sort of give a little bit of so they feel a little bit more specialized. The encounter is less of like a meat grinder, I think, which is basically the way it was playing. We'll probably continue to iterate on this. This is just the very first cut at making that change. As always, Pete's team has always make really awesome looking dudes. Like, the art is fantastic. And so we're just iterating through the gameplay to make sure that's just as well polished.
Sweet. Let's jump in and play some Deliver the Goods, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other new things. So if you've watched the stream before, normally we have other people inside the room with us playing, which
Yeah.
in effect it's kind of cheating a little bit. It makes it super easy to
Make fun of them.
To coordinate?
to
Yeah.
coordinate,
Talk.
and talk and that sort of thing. We don't have that today. We actually have people playing in another room. So Zach is going to coordinate
Look at that.
using the game chat. So we've got Heather and Chris and James, and we'll probably see a lot of the back of those two guys' heads once they turn around and start playing.
They can't actually hear us right now, right?
No, they can't hear us. So you can say whatever you want to say about them.
Right?
I
just want to say, like, they're awesome players. We're going to go play. Like, they've been playing a lot. But
They have a really big TV too.
Yeah.
they do have a big TV. That is amazing. You can actually see. That's actually. Oh no, that's not my screen. It's the background there.
Yeah.
It's theirs. Okay, cool.
All right, let's jump in and place and deliver the vid.
Awesome. Here we go.
Low threat, Zach. Come on.
There, if you noticed on the map here, there's no medium, high, or very high deliver the goods. So I'm going to use that as my excuse.
Yeah.
That works.
So how does
and
that
here-
work? So if somebody's seeing the map for the first time, do you explain how that works and what determines what's on there?
So there's within each of the locations, Stonewood, Plankerton, Canny, and Twine, there are 5 levels of difficulties that you unlock as you build out your outpost. And within each one of those areas of difficulty, in Stonewood they're fixed. So there's gate and retrieve the data and launch the rocket. And then as you get into Plankerton, we start rolling random missions in each one of those difficulties. So you'll basically get a set of random missions and be able to choose from those along with random rewards.
Cool. So we're at the Hero Select screen here. We're gonna fire it up. So Zach is playing our new female constructor. We've got Heather on the Outlander, Chris on the Ninja, and James is playing as our soldier. So we've got a full team.
If you notice here, we're going to build some tracks. We're going to protect our hover tub, and then we're going to complete the deliverables. So there's a little text here trying to tell us what we're going to have to do. The art is coming soon, though.
Yeah.
I am willing to bet that there's some people right now watching this wondering, what is a hover tub?
Yeah.
We have some concept art for that. I could go help Shelly find it. You guys want to see it?
Sure.
All right.
It's something to keep me clean as I'm delivering my goods.
Yes. I would love to take a bath.
I'm gonna do that.
All right. Thank you, Pete. All right. So what's the first thing that we are thinking about here?
Watching Pete trip over multiple things as he tries to get to Shelly.
He's trying not to knock over the camera that's pointing at us right now.
Okay, so let's see. The first thing I do is I just run forward to whatever is right in front of me and hit it a whole bunch. Just automatically.
Is that a thing that everyone should do, or is that just what you're compelled to do?
I'm always compelled, just like, oh man, school bus, destroy that.
I don't
Let's see.
quite know what that says about you.
All right, that's. All right. Let's see. So we're going to make our way over to where the starting point is here. Looks like that's already been uncovered for us. So.
Yeah. So initially you have to.
And we're going to need some blue glow, so I'm going to go ahead and take out this encampment along the way.
Gotcha. So Darren? What's the purpose of the blue glow?
So the blue glow right now represents sort of like the fuel for some of our missions, and so the harvesting of said glow enables the technology and the machines in the world to work. So generally, collecting some of it is part of the adventure. Zach is just destroying things with his double-barreled shotgun.
All right, now we got a little bit of.
So in this mission, yeah, the hope is that you'll go and discover where the start and end of the delivery system is.
Which is always going to be different,
Right here.
right?
Look at this.
Yep, and like everything else, our game is the worlds are procedurally generated based on a tile system, and so it does randomize where things start and stop. So this is as you can say, like Pete is going to get us some more concept art to look at the hover tub, but like everything else, this is just a first pass mesh just to give an idea of the way this thing is going to look in the long run. We want to get it out and test it, and so it's not our final art.
So as part of the mission, we've got you have to craft your tracks. So we've got our track schematics, which gets added just for this mission at the moment. And so for players that are going to play, just be aware that the tracks are removed when you exit the mission. So they're temporarily there just for this mission at the moment. We'll probably be iterating that in the future, but at the moment, that's the way it works.
Now, do tracks work the same way that other traps and things work?
Yep.
So you have to put down the floor
That's correct.
before you lay the track.
Yeah. I probably should go figure out where I'm going before I just
Yeah, I like it. I always like blind building is actually an
it's
interesting
super
strategy.
fun.
Yeah, it's
It'll
good.
make for some interesting results anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But yeah, surveying the area, figuring out where the final destination is, how you're going to protect your hover tub from the enemies becomes part of the mission type. And that's sort of the basic view of the mission, and we'll see how it breaks down. But our hope is that actually over time, that if everybody digs this mission type, we'll actually add some interesting little points in the world where, like, building over certain areas may give the hover tub some interesting properties, like it moves faster if you push it over this power up spot, and just so like we can sort of give players some goals as they're building their tracks.
The one we ended up with here looks like it's on pretty flat terrain, but it can actually appear on all sorts of different
Oh yeah,
levels.
yeah. I've seen some interesting builds that have cropped up in the in our play tests.
Yeah, Heather and I played yesterday with a member of the community, and it was like a super high terrain, versus super low terrain, and so he actually did kind of like what Zach is doing right now. Built a portion, almost all of the track was above the ground.
Yep.
Which was really interesting to see. Then what the Husks decided to do. Are they inclined to go directly where the hover tub is? Or are they inclined to try to knock out the what is it that
So,
they like to try to do?
well, I mean, in the end, they're trying to sabotage the tub. But as we've been experimenting with some aspects of this, we've actually tweaked a number of what their behaviors are. So it's interesting because as the husk in the world do have a sense of like things are connected to other things. So over time, we may adjust what exactly they're going to aim at more aggressively and whatnot. So like if you build something completely in the air, what do? They deconstruct it and then try to look for your weak points in your design.
So we're actually going to throw up that beautiful hover tub art.
Oh
now
yeah, awesome!
Nice.
And take a peek at it. So yeah, so early sort of version of it in the game. Here's kind of what the target is, what it will look like.
Yep, that's our hope, is that the tub will grow into that. Another interesting Fortnite invention.
So if you're in the chat and you happen to get one of these codes that we are handing out, if you go to Fortnite.com to redeem the code, you'll also notice that you have a couple of friend invites. Fortnite is definitely a lot more fun with friends, so be sure to look out for that. If you get a code, you can bring a couple of your friends in and play.
A couple of other things that we've been working on for this build. So there's actually a lot of bug fixes from OT6.
Yep.
One of the bugs that we fixed was related to the patrols, and so now when you're going to be seeing a lot more patrols sort of coming out in the environment and be more consistently challenging as you get into the higher level missions specifically. So as we play here, we're gonna see quite a few of those.
As a player, is there anything I can do to prepare for the patrol?
Well, it's crazy that you asked. So you can, in fact, every player is provided. And I'm not sure exactly if we unlock at a certain level, but eventually you unlock a ward. I guess it's under the health items, maybe.
I think it might be under the trap.
It is, but you could just look. You should show everybody the search box. Go up the
Search
top
box.
and
Sorry,
type.
I'm having.
You gotta deploy a hover tub to get the party started.
Traps.
Is it inside traps here?
I think so.
You have a lot of stuff.
I don't know.
There it is, right
there.
there.
It is.
Oh, there it is. I just
Under
missed it.
W.
Oh, mouse. Okay. So, then you can take this guy and questions. Can I just see if I can just. No, it like every other trap wants a floor. Good for it.
It's obeying the laws of Fortnite.
It is, which is great. That's exactly what that trap should be doing.
All right.
Calling in some resources. There you go.
While I'm waiting for that to build.
Bam.
All right. Now we're hopefully a little better protected.
Yeah, the ward will keep some amount of the patrol radius away from you. So if you want to build your way, like if you don't, like some people just prefer to take out a gun and they'll shoot the patrols in the face and they're fine with that. But then other people are like, no, I just want to build, and so they can choose to build the ward to protect themselves from the patrols for certain areas.
We're looking pretty good here. I'm going to go ahead and drop my constructor base in here, I think. Actually, right around the other side of this. Just protect one side of this thing. Because the cart's going to come over here, and it's going to fill up, and that's going to take a little while. So as it's filling up, I just want to make sure we are able to
What kind of stuff is it
ward
going
it
to
off.
fill up with, Zach?
The goods. I don't know. I'm assuming that Pete's going to come up with this incredible piece of concept art.
Yeah.
That we're going to put in the tub. It could be rubber ducks. I think
There are rubber ducks, yeah.
Yeah. So that could be a very meaningful thing to put into the tub. I don't know if we've thought all the way through all elements of how that tub's going to take resources and move them around. I think we're very much the mechanic of moving, of having a track system, of the cart, and getting those things sorted out, and then providing a really cool mission type was really sort of our initial goal. And then we knew once we had this tool in Fortnite that we'd be able to do all sorts of really cool stuff with it, and then we'd be able to tie it into other systems. So this is like version 0.5 of sort of what we think could be possible. And then we're looking for player feedback on those types of things as well.
And that seems to be a big thing, right? Get the new thing in, get the feedback, and iterate on what players are doing.
Yeah, that's how the team likes to work. Is that people are always asking like, get stuff out and test it, see what the community says, get feedback. We like to be able to adjust for that. So.
And we've put quite a few mission types in just in the last few months. How is the team going about? What's that process like for determining like, hey, we've got a new, we're thinking about putting a new mission. Like, how does a new mission get into the game?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we have a fine team of our level designers, and they've been really experimenting with tons of different mission types. They'll prototype one, white box it, test it out, see if how it plays. Does it fit, within the Fortnite world? Is it fun? The basics of that. And they'll just do a quick couple of passes on that, and then we play it internally, and then say if we promote it up to take it to the next level, that okay, this is cool. The community, let's see what the community have to say about this mission. So Deliver the Goods is one of those guys. They made several all at once, and then that one got promoted up. in the same way as some of the other ones. And like we're going to keep adjusting. You know, we've talked about how we're going to adjust power the reactor to refine that mission type. You know, we did put it out there in a bit of a raw state, and we've got feedback, we've got ideas of things we want to do, and you know, deliver the goods is another sort of iterative take on like let's get some feedback and see where they landed. It just happened to be that this particular version with the track system required a bit more time than some of our other ideas. Largely because I think a track system as a whole could be really fun for the players to play around with. So we spent some extra time to make that cooler. And I think if we get this mission type right, we'll see more of the tracks in the future.
So are there, as teams creating those sort of prototype missions, are there certain like core pillars that you think about? So for instance, it's like it's Fortnite, so does it have to have building?
Yeah, that's a great, that is exactly right. Like you know, a great Fortnite mission as of now, is all things we're iterating, but as of now, really takes into account exploring the world, the procedurally generated world, seeing what's out there. They have to interact with it. It requires building, like in some capacity, because obviously we give a huge amount of our tools to the players that is building, and then defending. So the quintessential Fortnite mission has all three of those. Now, as we develop our different variants, they don't necessarily have to have them all in the same proportions, and that's okay. But that's what makes I think a great Fortnite mission, and that way players of different types can kind of get together and play. So if you have a person who's like, well, I just like building and and use it as this thing, these tools, and then you've got somebody who's like, well, I like to shoot things in the face, like that person has a role, and then you have a person who's like, I like to explore. Like if you have a mixed group, like everybody's doing something and finds some piece of the mission type enjoyable for the things they like to do.
So Zach has started to defend the hover tub.
Yep.
So he defend for 10 minutes. It seems his defense so far consists of riding the hover tub.
Yeah. He's ensuring that the hover tub is safe by standing on top of it. Again, you know, Zach and his crew here are probably fighting below their weight. In the threat sense of this, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think combined, I think that statement is true. But
well, if it's too easy, we'll just do it again.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's fair.
That's right.
We'll just do it again and make it a little bit tougher. I think we probably have time to do this.
Okay,
at
so
least one
so
more
here are
time.
the goods. It looks like my goods are in fact boxes, along with
that rubber duckies?
Rubber ducks.
How did you know that's what it was
I was
gonna
in
be?
fact correct.
Yeah.
Well, mainly because when I had dinner with MSGT Fox, he was like, "Man, you know, Alana really loves the rubber ducks. She thinks those are awesome." I was going, "Cool." So that's the way I knew.
So when we had those players in earlier or last week, was there anything that they told you about Fortnite that surprised you, or that was unexpected?
Surprised us.
Because they played an awful lot of Fortnite.
Yeah, I'll actually tell you what surprised me. Somebody told me that they played 60 missions in a day.
Yeah, I think that was 10 months.
And I was just like, that surprised me. I was like, 60 missions, that is an amazing number of missions in a day. I don't play anywhere near that many missions in a given day, so it's just amazing to me that.
Me either, and I think part of that is because I'm not an efficient player, right? Like,
well, that's true. Yeah, and that's fair, but even that, like I'm pretty much aware of like the way people can the players that are just in it to rock it and get out.
Yep.
But even that, like a 60 number is significant. So I'm just like, damn. Like,
That's a lot of missions.
So I'm impressed with that. I'm glad that people are.
We've got a smasher here someplace. See if
Well,
we
that's
can
right.
figure out where he spawned. I've got a
can
little.
hear.
Oh yeah, they've got him tagged over there. Which is a pro Fortnite tip, by the way. Middle mouse button will tag an enemy for all of your players to be able to see it. So.
Yeah, that
like
double-barreled shotgun is not going to help
Trying
you
to
right
distract
now.
is what he
I'm
looks
just
like.
watching. I'm just watching my team take him out. It's kind of fun. I think they're going to do okay over there. Better to stay with the tub. That's my job. Make sure that we don't get. It's very easy for one of these husks to just sneak up on this thing.
You're not afraid of the Smasher, are you?
No, I'm okay with him. He's just over there.
All right, fair enough.
He's gonna be better over there.
Why don't you talk a little bit about? I don't think you should throw them, but why don't you talk a little bit about those switches?
Oh yeah, so the track system basically will conform to sort of whatever's around it. So as you place the tracks, they automatically connect to each other. And anytime you have like 3 tracks coming together, I think even 4 tracks coming together would do something very cool, which I don't know if I've tried yet. But when you have these 3 tracks coming together, you have these switches, and you can actually change direction. So I can actually put the cart here on a full-on just looping on this little loop, or bring it around this way.
So that they could never get
Never.
delivered.
Yeah,
technically
well,
get
I'd actually intended to do this, set a little bit longer path, and come over here, move this guy,
To the hover tub, now making its way back to the drop-off location.
and then they'll come out that way.
Yeah, that seems like it'll allow for some interesting experimentation.
Yeah,
You could make the path of delivering the goods even longer. I don't know, there might be a reason why you would want to do that, just because you wanted to see what would happen, I guess. But
yeah.
It's also if you're if like you're trying to make it take it farther away from where the monsters are spawning, or going down underground, and whatnot. It's always an interesting thing. And then like a lot of I think some of the best features in the game are the ones that enable players to experiment and play around with them a little bit more, and that's why we want to give those.
Yeah, again, what our players come up with, sometimes it's just crazy. So one good example of this at the moment is that there is, from my understanding anyways, a platinum badge available on this mission. To my knowledge, nobody internally has been able to actually achieve that. We don't even know if it's technically feasible or possible yet. We believe that in theory it could happen if the circumstances were just right, and you're able to get, but it's based upon the number of tubs that you move back and forth from the delivery that you actually deliver. So if somebody actually, I believe it's 4 tubs, you actually have to deliver 4 tubs, and I believe you can get the platinum black badge.
Gotcha. So is the distance between the 2 delivery spots always exactly the same?
No, that changes. There's randomization of sort of the placement of these things over spaces, and then also the orientation.
So a little bit of that could come down to luck, would help create the.
Well, I wouldn't say luck. I would say the number of opportunities you've had to be able to play.
Yes.
I guess what I'm getting at is a shorter distance could potentially be easier.
Yes, could make that easier depending on the terrain and what's happening.
That is exactly right.
That's part of the things we're still experimenting with, how much of that is. That's actually where I was sort of hinting at before, that there may be ways, particular areas in the map where you build the tub over, and it'll speed up the tub's velocity. So there may be a little bit of part of it is finding one part the most direct path, and second part being able to defend it, and third part finding little spots on the ground that could make the tub move faster, and therefore you can close out more deliveries. That's sort of the next stage of iteration, but we were like, okay, let's just put what we've got in, and then we can take that to the next level. But that'll add more of that interesting gameplay, and you'll have more control as players to the speed at which you're trying to capture or delivering the goods in this case.
Gotcha. 2 minutes left. Looks like we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna have to make this tougher.
Well, let's see if we can get a harder mission.
Yep. Try to get a tougher one. Should we tell them in the next room that we're gonna make it tougher?
No. Well, I mean, they may or
They
may
will.
not notice.
They'll see.
Yeah.
They will know.
If they're paying attention, they'll see beforehand. But
yeah, it's actually that's one of the things that we're very interesting, how tuning has been. One of the cool parts about the game is that the players come up with so many inventive ways to sort of solve the problems that Fortnite poses to them. It's very interesting when we're trying to get to the tuning that we don't want to make it too difficult so people get overwhelmed. But the flip side is expert players have an amazing vocabulary of things that they can do within the game world, which actually, to be fair to the team, something they identified very, very early, like literally 3 plus years ago, that the power we do would make a lot of these kind of things tough to make a balanced encounter,
Right.
Compared to the skill cap, and that's been an interesting thing. So sometimes people are like, "Yeah, the game is too hard," and it's like, and then at other times it's like the game is too easy.
Yeah.
It's very important that we look at the lens of who tells us which thing, because if you're like, we were talking about 10 million playing, he's like, when people play the game for 60 missions a day,
Yeah.
the level of proficiency they have, and like, it's pretty easy for me. It's like, yeah, but you've played in one day more so than like than a week of some of these other players, and
Right.
so it's a very different. So we have to be very careful about not overcorrecting.
Yeah, and we saw some of those sort of changes, right, in 6.5 where it comes to the outpost. So what do we
Yeah, that's
what
right.
do we
That's
what
a
do we
great
learn
example.
in OT6? We added the outposts.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and so that's a great example. So some of the top end Stonewood outposts were just more difficult. They were basically 2 steps above the baseline of that area to the players, and in certain cases, the players were having tough times with that. So we actually lowered that, and that's a result of we iterated. We saw what more of the community was doing, more of the data, not necessarily. Some of our top end players were like, "Oh yeah, this is a breeze." So we brought some of those things down and into alignment, I think now.
All right, so
Did not get a platinum badge.
No, but so basically you delivered it twice.
Yep.
So you would
Twice.
have to do twice as well as that in order to get the platinum
Yeah.
badge.
I don't. Yeah, and it may be that like literally we design something that there's an opportunistic thing where we'll add in a speed boost or something else later that will then allow people to start being able to get to those. What I'm just sort of interested in if somebody's going to be able to do it prior to that,
Right.
Right, because
Yeah.
there is the possibility of it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, that's basically back to what you're saying. There's a lot of experts out there, so they will figure out
That
ways.
sounds like a challenge.
Well, it is. I mean, for all we know, you could you could actually make a hill, and then it comes down faster on the other side of the hill, and then somehow they solve it that way. I don't know that. I don't believe that is true. But some of these guys, sometimes it's like there's weird things that happen in our game because of the way that's so systemically driven.
I like the idea of you just sprinkling little bits of potential misinformation.
Yeah, well,
into
I
the
mean, that's what
world.
it's all about. Well, because then it gets repeated.
Maybe
and
this is
like-
a thing you
maybe,
can do, but maybe not.
Right.
But we want people to try things. So
All right,
we'll
so
see
let's see.
what
Let's see if there's a more. We could go.
I was just
I could walk him up to Canny.
Oh, don't
Oh,
do
look
that.
at that! Oh, don't do that. Okay, we do have a very high, or we have a high threat and a very high
Yeah.
threat.
You got
No,
some.
let's do the very high one.
You want to do very high? You
Yeah,
sure?
look, if
There's a survivor that I can save over
if
here.
you guys, okay, well,
I'm just saying, like,
Just
if
keep
I-
in mind-
now I'm going to ask
Progression
you.
for my account
now I'm
is
gonna-
very
yeah,
important.
Now I'm
Yeah,
going
is
to
that
ask you
really-
to remember that we're streaming.
Yeah, it's not about you.
it's not about me.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So here's the thing. It's been
All
a
right.
while since we failed on the stream. I
let's go.
don't want us to fail a lot, but
But
like,
you want us to fail sometimes? Great, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's do it. We're in.
So let's at least
You want it
try.
to be challenging?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're like freaking out over there.
Maybe. I don't know. Do we have a picture? Do we have a picture of our guinea pigs?
If they're just
What are they
like,
doing
what,
over there?
Yeah.
what is Zach doing? We didn't talk about this. We didn't say we were gonna play. Like,
Starting to point to each other.
Yeah, now it's like-
wow, it looks very serious.
We're in. We are in.
Like, thanks, Zach.
We'll have to check on them like when the action gets super crazy is when we need to check in.
Yeah, they're
because when we activate this thing, man,
It's gonna. Okay,
it's
so
gonna be
what
actually
can
fun.
we?
But I like the fact that they all have very serious looks. They're like discussing a plan. Heather is looking down at her map and being like, "Okay, this is how we're gonna do this." Like she's formulating her production schedule and
Right.
make this work.
Okay, so here's how much resources we're gonna need.
Yeah, I feel it's
She's like, okay, I'm gonna collect the metal.
You've got 2 producers you're playing with, so they should be very efficient. And
Yeah.
everything that they do, they should be very efficient, right? Either that, or they'll come back and they'll tell you that this is out of scope.
Yeah, right, totally. They're like, we are currently unequipped as players to be able to beat this.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're doing to us.
So which badge do you
Which
want to
is
cut?
which is actually in fact part of my role is to go, hey guys, let's go take this hill that's impossible.
So
Everybody gear up.
I've not played a delivered goods on this high of a threat yet. What can we expect to see? What's gonna happen, Zach? Tell us.
We'll definitely get a lot of elemental husks. That is a guarantee. We should see for sure see flingers, a bunch of lobbers. So in the last mission, we saw lobbers, we saw smasher. That really seemed like about the extent of the enemies. So we'll definitely get elementals, and then
I hope we get more artillery.
Yeah, we'll get a ton of artillery,
Yeah.
and that's going to be the major challenge, is
seems to
just
be
protecting the entire tunnel.
Yep.
Okay, so here we go.
And as much as we talked about how the sort of like scaling of difficulty over time is a tough thing to master, it's interesting right now because at the high end of it, at the really far end of it, right in Twine, where only a handful of players have made it, you know, we talked to those guys. You talk to Tenma and Fox and Bigness. Those guys will say it's really tough at that level, right? And so it's like the high end, the really super far end of it, where you can aspire to, you know, become really, really great at the game, is still very, very challenging for even a guy who plays 60 or 70 hexes a day.
Yeah. Well, that's as we move into that level of play, the encounters really ask you to have a strong mastery of all the tools, and if you're not used to using the tools regularly, the game is very challenging. You know, we often talk. You know, sometimes we have conversations with players early on in the experience, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have to build anything in the beginning. And like, I just take my gun and I can totally win." And actually, in the beginning, that's totally okay. Like we're all right with that. But as they progress, one of the things that we did talk about over dinner with those guys was that, yeah, as we get to that elder game, they have to build traps. Like, you really do need to build, you know, ways to funnel the enemies through, and because you simply cannot destroy them all with a gun. And that's the evolution we're actually aiming for, which is to slowly onboard the players so they learn the skills of what they can do in the game world.
Yeah, I think what's cool about that is because you know, when you look at the world map and you can choose, you know, even if you worked your way up to say like very high threat where we're going to play on, you can still opt in and out of that experience, right? So we're talking about how, you know, people tend to play the game differently, and you know how some players, it's definitely about the progression and you know, skill and, you know, moving ahead as quickly as possible. But then we talked about kind of like, you know, like when I play the game, sometimes I do that, but sometimes I just want to go and experiment and mess around. And in certain cases, that might mean playing a lower difficulty a threat level than what I'm capable of.
Yep.
Just because it's fun to try a new weapon or try a new schematic or, you know, something that I got.
Yeah, and that's the absolute, because sometimes, you know, you'll get a new schematic. You wanna test out whether that gun is worth, like, you know, hey, does this sort of fit with my play style? So you'll fight down level to sort of tinker around, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna add some weapon XP to level this bad boy up.
Right.
But yeah, just, you know, once you get to that top end of the game, all those things really need to be, like, all your weapons have to be leveled, your home base has to be well equipped, and so yeah, you can totally go down level and fight. And generally speaking, you know, people are happy to have you because the power of the home base is stacked together. So when you're playing with others, like, you're just making your team more powerful, even if and then plus all the skill knowledge you bring.
For me, some of you know, where I decide to go sometimes has to do with who's on my friends list that happens to be online, right? Because it's like I have those moments where I'm you know, on there, and maybe it's a newer player and I'm the one that's in there, you know, helping and giving schematic, you know, making weapons and stuff like that. But then when I want a real challenge or I want to learn something new, I'll go play with an MSGT Fox or somebody like that, and I'll see stuff and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm learning something here instead.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, that's exactly. You know, I like to start to play in the first area a lot, because I'm very interested to see what happens when players just start building for the first time.
Right.
You know, as you become a more expert player, like you kind of settle into the design patterns that work for you, and that's good. That's actually what we want. But it's interesting to see. But a new player has no points of reference up to this point, so it's just cool to see them experiment and try and figure out what's going to work for the type of gamer they are. And
this is going to be really interesting. By the way, we have a bunch of sort of changes in elevation here. This is going to be fun to watch. I'm really not sure what's going to happen.
I believe we are going to have a lot of artillery.
which for a
we'll-
suspended
Yeah, it could be bad.
track is not ideal
No,
necessarily,
yeah.
right?
No, it certainly isn't. But we'll find out.
Let me ask you this: have you failed Deliver the Goods yet? Have you played on such a high level that you've actually failed it?
No. Normally normally when stuff was getting really crazy is when we were prototyping, and so then the server would just crash.
Okay.
And we wouldn't actually finish it. So, but I don't. Well, actually, I actually take that back. I think I might have failed one or two, where it was literally we'd lay the tracks out, and then with no building whatsoever, we just hit the button, and then we'd ride it around, try to shoot everything, and we'd see what happened. Then the rest of the team was like, "What are you doing? Why are you just hitting the button?" We're like, "We're trying it out. We're seeing what happens. if we don't fail, it's not good." So we did do that. So there's definitely, but those are the things you try, right? It's like you got to go see if it's working right, then you should be able to fail. So let's see. That's going to go off that way. That's cool. All right. I don't know how efficient that is. I was debating on whether or not it'd be faster to just, like, as soon as that thing gets there, just to reverse it back the other way.
As opposed to running around.
As opposed to having it curve around. Because
Yep.
it doesn't seem like there's a speed. It doesn't seem like we get, like, a specific speed buff from it doesn't seem like it slows down significantly.
I'm really curious to see what's going to happen here. Now, are we gonna? I noticed we're still looking at level 1, mostly metal here. Are we gonna?
Yeah, we'll
get some
upgrade.
upgrades?
We're gonna upgrade some of this. I was running out of metal, so I was starting to look at what I needed.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
It's just
There you go.
selection.
Yeah.
Yet many of the quality of life improvements that are on our list of things that we need to do.
Yep. That's right.
So we use my banner here, which I don't have fully upgraded. Now that we have people up to Command Center level 5, there's probably 3 banners are running around now that can actually upgrade all this stuff to level 3. I'm excited. because I'm now at a place in Twine where I could probably get my Command Center level 5 and get my banner upgrade to the next level. So.
So, are you going to try, once you turn this on, are you going to try to defend it any differently? Is it going to be the same thing? Will you ride the hover tub again, and while everyone else is
Probably.
is on the
We will find out, but that seemed to work pretty well last time.
It did.
So
It was much easier.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is going to be making sure these endpoints don't fold. Like even last time, we could see that when the tub got to either one of those sides, those endpoints, we got a lot of action on those.
So that feels like it's the most dangerous time
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you're more
exactly.
vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh. So let's see here. We're just.
All right.
Yeah. Needs more metal.
Yeah, more metal.
More metal.
Is your team carrying their weight?
Let them
What
know.
they're
Let
doing
them
good?
know. Tell them. You gotta out.
They're up there building. They're doing pretty good.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that thing's looking slick. Look at those walls. That stuff's all just gonna tear down in like 0
I was
time.
gonna say I'm so worried for you right now.
I know. So look. So see, they've even developed. So they've got full track, coverage
Yeah.
there with the angle. So you can actually see where this track. But see what I'm doing right here? I bet you anything the hostage
You can
is
just
going to
walk
come
up
right
and
over
hit
that.
and just
Yeah.
hit that corner right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
they only need to destroy one piece of track, right?
To stop. Yes, exactly. Once it's disconnected, we'll see the
down.
cart stop. So. All right. All right. So do we have any blue glow? Let's find out.
That guy has one over there.
Let's see.
Yeah, 3.
Oh,
Oh,
got 3.
so
Yeah.
you're good.
Hooligan's gonna come hook us up.
They don't look that nervous.
No.
But they don't realize what's happening yet.
I'm just excited that we've got this, like, second tier mission in. Which is to say, like, we've had a lot of these ideas of missions with more tools. We just have never had the opportunity to make them yet.
I probably should drop my base someplace here.
Yes.
Yeah, you should try to win.
I
think put it in, one of the riskier places, I guess, right?
I actually think that corner police there that you identified as being a potential. Oh man, is the bear going? The bear's over there. The Outlander fragment, offensive fragment. I saw was firing.
All right.
There he is.
Are we gonna do some traps out here?
Yeah, well, at the very least, I'm going to prep for some traps. I don't know if I'll place them or not, but I'm going to go ahead and shoot.
So you're just trying to anticipate what might happen.
Oh, yeah. Prep. Brick is cheap.
Yeah.
Needing the ceiling at the time when we need it.
See what they do and then place the traps accordingly, like during the mission?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Combat building is definitely one of those, like, those skills that the longer you play, the more you need.
Yeah, because otherwise you got to make more traps, right?
Yeah, right. You gotta prepare a bunch and be ready.
Okay, so that's looking pretty tight. That looks okay. All right, depending upon where they come from, I think this is probably the only other big weak spot is coming in through there, but I don't think they might break through there, but we'll see. We'll find out. Okay, ready?
All right.
Showtime.
Do you want to make a prediction, Darren? Are they going to get through this? And if not, how many minutes will they last?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I haven't played enough with everybody here. Definitely know that Zach's going to bring a certain amount of
legitimacy.
Yeah, skill to the pie.
What I like about when I watch him play is that no matter how bad it gets, he will stay calm under fire.
Yeah, that's.
But I also don't think I've seen him lose yet. I've seen him fail.
Yeah, that's true. True, he does not like to lose.
So I don't know what'll happen. I don't
Do
know if he'll like
totally
flip the table over or.
The thing is, it's a good
You
thing.
get upset
is, like,
when you lose?
Zach really
not too
appreciates the victory, and so, like, if you were to come to Zach's desk and he's in the middle of playing a mission, you're trying to have a conversation, and you're interrupting his ability to win, he definitely shows some sign of irritation.
Sounds to me like this is.
And it's like he's like, "What I need to win right now." Just
Yeah,
like his selection about the Survivor earlier. He's like, "I am not getting the Survivor I want," and so
There's a Survivor opportunity here. Why would we choose something more difficult? What are you trying to do to me? All right, so let's just see what's going on here.
All right.
All right, so there's a patrol door over there.
yeah, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's not quite what I intended to do. We wanted this thing.
There you go.
Let's see what we're doing up here. Oh, look at that. That's nice of them. That's a slick little jump pad. All right. Oh,
They were
there it
thinking
is
about
there. You know it's coming this way.
So you decided to change strategies. You're no longer riding the tub. You're going to.
Well, I wanted to make sure that.
No, I mean, you were doing it right. I feel an evolution of the strategy.
Just want to make sure that those things. Okay,
Somebody's
so
blowing
see
up
right here.
something
Look
right
at
here.
this right here.
What does
See?
everybody in the chat think?
those
Do you think
things-
that they're going to be able to do it
that's
in the
nice.
chat?
Yeah, that's actually funny. I can't
we'll-
see what the
we'll
chat.
go ahead and upgrade all that.
Community's prediction is.
Yeah.
Right now they're talking about food.
Oh, are they?
So,
Yeah. Taco Tuesday.
Really? Well, why don't we have any tacos?
Because maybe that's what's in the hover tub.
Oh, okay. All right, we're delivering the tacos.
Taco Tuesday is counting on you guys.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of.
Something's going on there.
Yeah,
It's
what-
not good for anybody. That
That's
thing is
true.
gone. That
That's
thing
true.
is gone.
I think we're going to lose this thing. I don't know exactly what happened.
I think
here,
that
though.
go back to where you were.
Yeah.
Literally, I think it's somewhere right there. Bam.
Oh yeah, look
right
at that.
there.
Looks like we have some believers in the chat.
Yeah, well, believers should. We'll find out here. Let's see if we can get this track down, get this thing reconnected. There it goes. Look at that. Get that upgraded. Get that good. Man, Tub took some damage there, though.
No, yeah, it did.
Everybody thinks you guys can win.
All right, good.
Y'all want codes and tacos?
You guys can
Tacos and codes.
You guys
That's
can
what we're
still
all
have
about.
codes
That's not too
if
bad.
they
I
lose.
mean,
It's okay.
When I think about, I spent more time playing games and less time designing games. That's pretty much actually what life was about at that point. Was codes to
tacos?
play new games or to play new games, and tacos is what I predominantly ate, and Mountain Dew.
See, the thing
I went through
like,
that whole moment.
I have the vision of you weren't a ramen guy, huh?
No.
Yeah, it was
Tacos
tacos.
back in the day, like a Taco Bell taco was pretty cheap. It was like 79
Oh, right,
cents.
Taco Bell tacos. That
Right.
makes more sense.
Right.
Okay,
Like,
right.
you know, it's like it's,
Okay, is that what Taco Tuesday's about? Is Taco Bell tacos?
That's what they were talking about.
We weren't about marketing any specific content.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I just wanted to make sure. That's actually a very important fact for me, anyways. I don't know why.
You
I don't know why.
You want your Taco Bell T-shirt to go with the stream? It's
Hey,
like, there are people
dude,
that do that.
I'm all over Taco Bell T-shirt. Let's do it.
I think before
Especially if we're going to hook our community up.
Well,
Like,
that's what I mean.
That's what
Like,
it's all
like,
about.
If they
right?
want
It's like-
tacos, we'll find a way.
Yeah. It's like we give out codes for tacos, as far as I know.
I feel like
Yeah,
first before we start getting corporate sponsorships on the stream, that
Yeah.
we want to make sure you can win because nobody wants to back.
Yeah.
if you don't
the losing
actually,
horse. Yeah,
if you
that's
don't
true.
actually win the mission.
If we can't deliver,
Yeah.
we can't deliver
If
the
you can't
goods.
deliver the goods, there you go. I see what you did.
Mhm.
See, look at that. Did you see that?
Where
I
did- where
totally
did he-
called that.
Where did he
just,
get up? Oh, yeah,
no,
right
he
here.
just walked right there. He just look at that.
He's
He was
like, hey.
pass. Oh, no, denied. See, look at that. Look at that whole stream of them. They're just like, man, this is a good place to come. Let's come over here. We're gonna eat your tub. The good goods.
A good suggestion from the chat: trading codes for taco picks. Maybe it's time. So
For taco picks.
So some people
Don't
have.
know.
Wow.
Don't know
Wow.
if I need any taco
So
picks. On my
so
list.
since we have had registration open for alpha, if you
Oh,
go
look
to
at that.
if you go to Fortnite.com and look in our FAQs, it actually suggests that people should send us cat pictures, and
Does it really?
we have received a lot of cat pictures since that has been up, and I look at them and I do give to people that send us cat pictures on Twitter and on Facebook, and I never get tired of looking at them.
No, okay. Well, every man needs a hobby.
And Will's is cat pictures.
And I
And
have
look, as long as you own it, it's cool.
I have the power to change that in the FAQ to taco.
To
pictures.
tacos? Okay.
We
yeah.
could totally do that. Maybe it's time.
I think I would be like, I don't know if it's the pictures of tacos, if it's like the good taco restaurants or places that make tacos, like yeah, maybe that would be great.
Elenaba is in the chat. She pointed out that maybe that's why the Husks are so eager to get to the Hubbard Tub
Because they're
'Cause
filled
it's
with
like
tacos?
yeah. So now I'm
Alright.
torn because if it's like Taco Tuesday for them too, then I feel bad if we're stopping them from. We're just like not sharing.
Oh wow, dude, that's awesome. This thing gets more health as it goes. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
It regenerates a little bit. That's awesome. Okay, there's actually a chance we can win. Cool. I'm super excited now. I've just never been on the losing side of that tub, taking that much damage. So.
All right. Well, I mean, it's. I feel good. You've already completed a delivery.
Oh, did we?
so-
yes, we did, but playthrough.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we crashed.
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Experiment.
So I do want to say, there's more server crashes right now than I'm used to.
Yeah.
And so, we took some integrations that are going to, that's definitely going to set us back a little bit. So we're working on fixing all the bugs. The bugs will be fixed. We're making them high priority. We're going to be releasing another patch tomorrow or the next day to fix some more bugs. So hang in there, guys. Like, I know it's not fun having the server crash on you. So,
Yep.
The challenges of alpha game development.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and the community's been very cool about being patient with us when we go through, which we appreciate. And everyone on the team is always hustling to figure what's up.
Yeah.
So
The only thing that could stop you was technology.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to do what I have to do right now, which is actually submit the bug.
Yeah, let's do it.
feedback.
There we go.
So we've got a feedback feature.
Oh,
because you exited.
Lost. No, I didn't exit server thing.
Server.
But I'll still submit the logs anyways
Alright.
here in a second, as soon as we get back on the other side.
So yeah, if you're actually, that's a fine thing. If you guys are having problems, you guys get crashes, use the feedback button. Let us know. Rage optional in the body of the thing. But hey, we take it.
Server crash.
So.
There we go. So what happened? What happens when you said feedback? Where does it go?
So that gets pulled together along with logs, gets sent into our customer service system, and so then our customer service guys go through and break those down. QA grabs them, they start looking through them. They look at the logs, both sort of the client logs, and then they look at the server logs associated with the sort of the server that you're on at the time, and then they they pull other data from our crash reporter. Put that all into a Jira, into basically an issue tracking system that then the engineers pick up and we assign a priority to, and they go and fix the bug.
Sweet.
So that's how all that works.
There's
So
no gnomes involved.
There's no gnomes.
Yeah.
Well, some of the guys.
All right, fine. I was just
All right.
curious, but yeah,
Well,
I know.
the stream's over, but the good news is it is Taco Tuesday, so people can fire up, go wherever it is they gotta go now.
Yeah, to find tacos.
to make that happen. I think I'm actually might do that.
Probably not a bad plan.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you very much.
Make sure if you didn't get a code, hit us up at Fortnite Game on Twitter. We do answer code requests on there. We get to them as many as we possibly can. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than we like, but we want to bring as many of you into the game as possible. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.